why did Toons never really take off in the competitive world when they had so many good cards? In this video, I kind of wanted to talk about the pool that Toons have that I consider good, and just a little bit more of what they could do for Toons. I know some years ago, the last time that we had a Toon monster come out, I made a video very similar to this, and I wanted to kind of revisit the subject for those that have been new to this channel. So first off, let's talk about Toon. Pegasus's very own archetype. They had so much in the show, but yet they're just a few cards away from being good, much like UAs. All UAs needed was one or two good cards, and you would have potentially had a very frightening tier 1 deck. So first off, Dark Magician. Of course, the first line on all of these things: cannot attack the turn it's summoned. I understand that was a balancing factor to a lot of the Toons, and I can respect that because some of the later Toons that we're going to be talking about here are a little bit broken. So, while you control Toon World, your opponent controls no Toon monsters, this guy can attack your opponent directly. Pretty good. Once per turn, you can discard one Toon card or Manga Re-Ram, activate one of these effects. Special summon one Toon monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions, and you can add a Toon spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. So you either get to bypass the summoning conditions, giving you access to half of the things that the deck needed, or you can, further Rhoda for things in your deck, which you can already do, but that's besides the point. So keep that in mind. You still have to essentially achieve the double sacrifices for this, basically to do the tribute summon for it. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is very worth it. Next up, just Toon Red Eyes. Once per turn, you just special summon a Toon monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. Basically, with Red Eyes, you can call for its companion, the Dark Magician. Once again, though, cannot attack the turn it's summoned, and granted, its special summon from hand ability is fine, but you still have the same problem that we had here. Toons do not have an efficient way to achieve double tributes. And that's one of the things that I really wish that the archetype had for itself, is just that. But the Red Eyes Dark Magician combo is extremely good because one of them can proc the other one to additionally continue to spam out monsters. Problem is, we just have to achieve that. Now, this is where Toon Cyber Dragon can come into play. He literally is just... he's Cyber Dragon. He comes out of your hand, but we still have the problem. This guy only acts as a single tribute. I kind of wish Toon Cyber Dragon would have functionally acted as a dual tribute monster when he was designed to additionally speed up this process, but that would have been too good. However, as I said, he's a level 5 machine that can be special summoned. It's very good. However, for the stun aspect that this deck kind of brought to the table, Toon Cyber Dragon isn't, I guess, one of the key players to that. Of course, the Toon Gemini, Toon Mass Sorcerer, I accidentally really love these cards for a Toon-based stun deck. Actually, we tried to do a stun deck probably, a year ago for this archetype. Of course, if you guys don't know, Toon Gemini Elf has the ability, when it attacks your opponent directly, you get to discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Toon Mass Sorcerer, on the other hand, if it attacks your opponent directly, you get to draw a card. One of the cool things that Toons have always had were these particular 2 cards, because you're ensuring that you have a consistent engine to press your opponent, and you have an engine to recur your hand. Also, these both are level 4, so you do get access to a ring 4 engine, which is extremely nice. I find that pretty hard to not want to play this deck. Now, these are just the very good monsters. Now, keep in mind there are other monsters. Goblin Attack Force, Toon Mermaid Elf. If I was playing the stun version, I'd probably be playing the Elf because she is the normal summon. You have access to fucking Toon Buster Blader, Ancient Golem, and of course, if you want to go the normal monster route, you have Toon Alligator. Now, this archetype has been notorious for the spell support it has. Mimicat, if you control Toon World and a Toon monster, target one card in your opponent's graveyard. If it's a monster, you get to special summon it, or if it's a spell trap card, you get to send it to your field. What the fuck? they have access to anything that your opponent has already played. That's so good. You know, in the OCG, they get to play this in three of this and one Monster Reborn. Or you can steal your opponent's Monster Reborn. You know, I mean, if you steal a spell card from your opponent, you get to use it right away. That's so fucking good. And of course, don't even get me started on Toon Table contents. They have a, you know, this card's been the instigator of a lot of OTKs, because you could just search for this, and then Toon World, or this Toon Cannon Soldier, officially giving you 4 copies of your OTK enabler in your deck. But you have a Rhoda. That's something that a lot of decks need. And it's been around for the longest fucking time in this game's history. And Toons just aren't good. Comet can, of course, if you control 2 monster. This card hacks as Snatch Steal. You get to take their monster and quote-unquote toonify it. It's all just mine. And then, of course, Toon Kingdom. When this card's activated, you banish the top 3 cards of your deck face down. This card's name becomes Toon World while on the field zone. Your opponent cannot target Toon monsters you control with card effects. If a Toon monster be destroyed by card effect, you can banish 1 card from the top of your deck face down. Okay, so one of the things that Toons essentially never really had was access to the face down cards that were banished off Toon Kingdom. And I feel like one of the things that they could give Toons at this stage in their life is some sort of way to take advantage of those cards. You know, essentially, it even says here that you're going to be making more of those cards. You know, they're being banished as your monsters are being destroyed. So why do we not have a card that it's like return 4 banished cards, 4 face downs to special summon a monster of that level from the deck? You know, call it like Toon Cattle Rush or some crazy shit like that. It's one of the points in this archetype that they could build on. I don't know if they're ever going to do it, but they do have access to it. Next up is Toon Briefcase. When your opponent would summon a monster while you control 2 monster, you can just shuffle that fucker right back into the deck. Just shoot the fuck out of here, Toon. Go away. Unfortunately, this is not a counter trap card. That was one of the original complaints that we had about Toon Briefcase. Is just the fact that, unfortunately, it just doesn't counter negate summon. So if you play this against a Monarch, for example, the on-summon Monarch effect will still proc. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do anything about that. But on the plus side of things, you get to shuffle the fucker back into the deck, so you don't have to deal with it. And last but not least, Toon Mask. You control 2 monster, target 1 face of monster opponent controls. Special summon 1 Toon from your hand or deck, whose level is less than or equal to the level of rank of that monster. Essentially, you can get access to these, but in today's current format, where you're effectively just staring at Zodiac monsters, the maximum value you're going to get off of Mask is literally just going to be Mask Sorcerer and, unfortunately, Toon Gemini Elf. So, is it really worth it to play this? I don't know. It's just me. So, things to improve our good friends, the Toons. First off, I would love to see discard a Toon card, draw a card, or discard a Toon monster. Even though, like, they definitely have limitations on them, you're basically playing a good section of higher tribute monsters that at some point in their lifespan are going to be bricks. So if you're giving them access to a search card, make it a Toon named card, being able to discard these to do more things. Obviously, that would fix that. Ways to have additional tribute summons would be extremely nice in this deck. As we said, with Toon Kingdom having access to some sort of engine that takes advantage of those face down cards. You know, even Pot of Desires has gimmicks to it. You know, fucking not Necro Valley. The little Necro guy that returns shit. I can't remember his name at the moment. You know, same thing with this, but it's not as extreme. But it was an archetype, it was a condition to this archetype that didn't really make sense for it to need it. And I understand what they were trying to do with it. However, I just don't think at this point in time it's been something that Konami's really taken advantage of. I mean, you have fucking phenomenal ways to control the game. You have fucking some of the best spell cards in the fucking game. You're lacking better monsters efficiently. Outside of this, and maybe Toon Mermaid, she doesn't even do anything. She literally is just, So, cannot be normal summon set, cannot be special summon unless you control a Toon World. Must first be special summon from him by attributing of the same monsters needed to tribute summon normally. 0. This card cannot attack your opponent the turn with special summon. You can pay 500 life points to declare an attack with this card. If a Toon World monster on the field be destroy this card, blah blah blah. And this guy can attack directly. 1400, just more access to more of your already demiring rank 4s that you can produce with this. Obviously, this has to stay on the field. But what do you guys think about Toons? Where did they really kind of go wrong? Obviously, Toon Worlds just activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. But what do you think Toons need? As I said in this video, a discard draw card, easier summon mechanics would be great. But what do you guys think? Tell me down below, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm out. Peace. That's not all, folks. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please check out my Cardfight Vanguard channel, VanCole40. You guys will get an insight on our playtesting sessions. And please check out the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. That way you guys can follow the House of Champions and MCole40 interactions. Please check out MCole Games for all of your guys' trading card game needs. And if you guys enjoyed this content, please check out my Patreon in the description. Every bit helps to the creation of these videos. One step at a time in improvement, and that's the goal of this channel. Alright guys, have a good time, and thanks for watching.